I'm tired of these gentleman rules we have as, players that try to play the game clean. So you know what? I decided to throw all that out the window, and we're going to be using every tool we can to get this man out of here. This wasn't even a planned video. Like, I didn't plan for him to be a power spammer. This is just what you run into over and over and over, constantly. Every single matchup, someone chooses a Canelo or somebody that's, meta, overpowered, and they just abuse the power, especially you're not able to block it most of the time. So a lot of times they get free, power shots landed clean on your jaw, which to me isn't fair. There's no bleed through, so it's landing like a clean shot basically, which should definitely be changed, and it could be changed very well if they implement a good vulnerability system. So at least if it's landing through the block, it's not doing full damage like it is right now, because when it lands through your block, it's landing like your hands are down basically. Able to body rock him right here. We start using more power later on in the coming rounds, just to see how much different the game would feel if I used more power shots. I was really testing his damage because over the past couple updates, damage just felt very underwhelming compared to day one release. I'm trying to see how long it takes to really finish people and just get them out of there. What takes a lot longer to finish people is, honestly, like, people are able to get away while they're rocked. They just slide away from you. Hit detection protects them from getting dropped. But still trying to have fun with the game from time to time and, do videos on it. Not sure what type of videos I'm going to do going into the future, but yeah, look, we get rocked with a nice power shot right there. I'm not sure if I went through the guard this time or I dropped my hands trying to go for a body shot. But I don't know. Maybe I'll use different fighters, something. It's really hard to make content on the game because if the top picks don't feel good and it takes forever to hurt somebody with some of the best boxers in the world or ever, imagine how a 60 to 70 overall is going to feel. It's going to be damn near impossible, especially for the way people play. Like, imagine if I was facing this Canelo with the low overall. And you're going to see other issues that I've also complained about, definitely present in the video. Like, I was blocking right there. The funny part is my block's like full. Like, the block's not even like low. It just goes clean through, like RNG. Which is something that they need to get rid of. I'm hoping they can get rid of it before Undisputed 2. I'm hoping we don't need a sequel for them to add something like that, because back in early access, for the most part, they were definitely adding in a lot of new mechanics, every few months or so. But since then, it's been very slow since they came out the game on console. I remember power spam was really bad when it first came out, and I was expecting a quick update, and I think it took them like a month. They actually left us there for like a month almost, or even more than that. Which is crazy because I was confident in them fixing it, because I was like, damn, I saw early access. The devs are very transparent, but they seem to have lost what made them successful, which was transparency and community feedback, actually listening to it. Listening to what the real players that want to play a sim boxing game want. At the end of the day, they sold us a sim boxing game, so ended up knocking them down there. But you're going to see some desync. You're going to see punches going through the block when they shouldn't. Some people are telling me that, you can't hold the block the entire time, but I have fights where I've tested that out, where I have the hands down like a good 80 to 90% of the time, and I'll try to react the block to a power shot. But what ends up happening is it's desync and there's a lot of input delay. So what ends up really happening is it doesn't read the input fast enough to block it if you try to react to it. So the game has desync and input delay, really killing that being a feature. So them changing a block the way they did, if that's the way it's intended to be, is really bad. You have too much input delay, you got desync, you got ghost punches. So how am I supposed to trust having my hands down more often? Because sometimes I do that and I get rocked way out of range with a power shot that should not have touched me. I land some desync shots on this guy. Pretty sure he lands some on me. For the most part, I'm pretty confident in this matchup anyways, because the younger Canelo has like terrible cardio, and I know that. So, Sugar Ray Leonard has really great cardio, so we're gonna definitely utilize that, and that's why I'm throwing more power shots. I'm not necessarily spamming like this guy is, but we're throwing a lot more power than I'm used to throwing. And I was still shocked how much it took to really start trying to knock him down and go for that finish. We have had a lot of rocks in the fight, and it's just very disappointing to see how the game has declined as fast as it has. In the first few months, first few updates, it kept getting worse and worse in its quality. It's rather unfortunate. I'm seeing a lot of these Undisputed channels too. They're taking a hit in views, and they're not growing as fast as they were. Some of these YouTube channels are basically boxing gaming channels, and unfortunately they got missold a game that lied to them, man. The devs definitely lied. The CEO himself lied, sold us a sim game, and just got all of his money, and that was it. It's been nothing but silence for the most part. They're opening up new studios to add more fighters. They opened one in Las Vegas. And I'm like, that just sounds like they're focused again on DLC, adding fighters to, make us buy. And a $20 pack, can't buy them singular either. So, hey, you see this what I mean? I'm throwing like 20,000 punches while he's rocked. None of them are landing. And I end up getting dropped, Oh, of course I know this happens in real life where you're running up on someone that's rocked, you can get cracked. But I mean, I already had thrown multiple punches, like 3 to 6 punches already, and you're telling me not one can land to drop them? It's just kind of crazy. This is not even just a Canelo thing either. It's other fighters I face as well, whether it be lower tier, mid tier, it just doesn't matter. It's the game's hit detection is very flawed. So, it's hard. We got to deal with the game how it is right now until either we get a new boxing game or we get another update. I hear one's coming out, not like confirmed, but a lot of people are rumoring it's coming out at the end of the month at some point. It's going to be a big gameplay update, supposedly changing a lot of things, but I'm really hoping that's true so I can actually enjoy the game, have 2 different games to play. At some point, maybe stream Undisputed a little bit. Not doing that right now because game's unplayable. I can't even play this on my off time when I'm not making videos. Like, I'm actually not playing. Like, the last video I posted probably like a couple days ago. This is from the same day. This is right after that Deontay Wilder video. And right after that, got tired of it and just haven't been playing it. I've been focusing on a game that's obviously my favorite and, still has a lot of good viewership and people are interested in it. It's hard for me as a smaller channel to have a game where it's not generating any interest at all. It feels like a waste of time, so I'm going to keep trying for a few more videos. I'm going to see, if it's me just not posting enough Undisputed content. Maybe that's why. So I'm going to see. Or is it just lack of interest in the game? I really hope it's not the lack of interest because, I would love to cover multiple combat games on my channel. That's like the main purpose of the channel. Yeah, we knock him down right here finally. With a nice power overhand. The only thing I don't like about the replays though is it has this white flash and, blood that goes on the camera. I'm a content creator, so I would have loved to use this replay system as a thumbnail maker. Getting a cool still shot of, cracking somebody with a nice hook or overhand, whatever I'm landing, uppercuts. But I can't because it has that flash and that effect. I mean, if there's a way to turn it off, that would be cool, but I don't think there is for the replays. Yeah, we pretty much don't care. In this fight, honestly, I didn't care if I won or lost. I was just doing this just because. I just wanted to see if I would have better results or faster finishes or the game would feel semi-normal. It still doesn't. Even though I'm landing bomb after bomb after bomb, it doesn't really change much of anything. It doesn't feel much different from me playing clean with a lot less power shots, but unfortunately, the only thing we can do is hope that the devs are working hard on releasing a big gameplay update. Like if they do a major gameplay overhaul or where they change multiple mechanics and then they want to add a DLC pack with it, I don't mind that. But don't come out with DLC packs when the game is obviously broken. That's my only issue with that. I remember the CEO himself, Ashabib, he literally stated, you know, we're not really worried about adding robes and certain type of things to entrances because we're focused on gameplay. We're not focused on anything extra unrelated to gameplay. So, you know, I believe that, as stupid as I am. You know, I bought into it. I was really happy for the game too, but unfortunately we were very disappointed in the product we did receive. So who knows, maybe, you know, Fight Night comes out in a year or two. Yeah, and then this is the thing too, like he is gassed, probably has like 30 or 20% stamina. Why is his body hooks doing so much damage? Like, this is how I know what I'm saying is true. The game doesn't have a system where basically a person has less stamina, they do less damage. So basically, even though he's tired, he's still able to do the same damage as full stamina Canelo, which is a major problem. Because if you don't have a system in place for that, you're going to have unbalanced, unrealistic gameplay. For example, someone with higher stamina in UFC 5 will output more damage against a person with lower stamina, and in return, the person with lower stamina will also deal less damage. You know, making it important to manage your stamina. You know, UFC 5 stamina is not perfect either. You know, they allow you to throw a lot, but at least when you do have someone tired, they're very easy to hurt, and they can't really hurt you as effectively as they could in the beginning of the fight. Very high level player probably can, but 9 times out of 10, no, they'll get hurt, they'll get destroyed instantly. Like if I had half stamina on UFC 5 compared to someone's like basically nothing, they wouldn't even be able to walk around fast, and they would get rocked with pretty much anything. So that's something I really hope they're able to improve on. Also, like reactionary head movement would be really cool, because right now we have to like pretty much just guess. You see what I'm saying? Like a random knockdown like that. You know, like while I'm punching his body, while he has no stamina, and I already been like cooking his body the whole entire fight. You know, that's the things. It's like that makes me not want to play the game. It's just like, what's the point? You know, I could win a lot, but at what cost? You know, if winning is killing my enjoyment for the game and I'm not really having fun, like what is the point? You guys gotta let me know in the comments down below if you do enjoy seeing Undisputed content from time to time. Yeah, like I said, I don't care if I win or lose. They're just going crazy with it. It doesn't matter to me. Winning or losing on this game doesn't really faze me too much anymore, you know, because it feels like I'm playing like a beta or an alpha test of a game. It feels like a lot of things are just broken and got worse. You know, not only things that were promised us not delivered, but it's also getting worse as the updates go on, which is just crazy. You know, some simple damage modifying and changing a little bit how stamina works can go a very long way. So people are less powerful when they're tired and they get hurt easier. They can't walk away from you when they're rocked as much as they can now. Some of those things would make great quality of life improvements, where I could say, like, you know, at least I could play on quick fight, have some fun. But as of right now, it's just not fun as much. There we go. We knock him down right there. A nice overhand. Yeah, the replays don't even seem like synced together either. Let's see if he's gonna get up from this. I believe this is like our second or third knockdown, and we do get the KO finish on Saul Canelo Alvarez with Sugar Ray Leonard. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I know I ranted a little bit, but you know, let me know your opinions down in the comments below.